Welcome to Inside the Wires. Hands down, the best podcast in all of racket sports. Listener discretion may be advised for a younger audience.
All right, we have a fun show. We're going to do a preview of Nationals coming up this weekend. It'll be a great Nationals. Hopefully the weather will not affect things too much, but we're going to Boston. So we'll have a recap after Nationals, see how right we were. All right, welcome back to the show. We are happy to have Andrew Ong on, one of the first of all, a member of the Players Committee, I believe, for the APTA, and
keep that quiet. We don't want to be telling people that.
Oh, that's secret. Oh, sorry.
That just means more complaints are coming. Is all that means.
Yeah, that's all right. Who listens to the podcast anyways? You know, I think we're gonna put this out Thursday morning, so maybe people driving to the tournament or getting into the tournament, whatever they're doing, will be listening to it, so they'll know who to bitch at if there's something wrong, I guess. Exactly. So what's going on, Andrew? Are you excited for the weekend?
Yeah, I'm pumped up. I played twice. So I'm playing with Robert Steinman, and we played twice this weekend. So we played this morning against Danny Oakes and Mike Marino, so they're going as well.
Nice.
And then we played yesterday morning against Lambropoulos and Schumacher. So
a couple of good matches.
Yeah, they were good, and it's nice. You know, there's probably four. You know, besides Adam Morgan, right? It's like there's 4 or 5 teams, maybe 4 or 5 teams or so from Chicago going. So it's good.
That's such a bummer. I was looking at the draw, and I'm like, this is such a low Chicago number.
Well, I mean, and you know not that we're all extra motivated. Everybody's motivated enough. Right, but do you guys remember the text from Girani last year?
Which one? I get a lot of texts from Girani. You guys.
Well, this one related a little less to you, I think, but I'm pretty sure he sent like some text Saturday night or Saturday afternoon to, you know, a bunch of the pros and, you know, maybe a couple other people in a group chat, just like, oh, like Chicago Nationals, there's no Chicago team in the quarterfinals. Everyone's like from the East Coast, you know, like Adam Morgan's in the quarters and that's it. Like, what are we doing? And everyone's like, dude, Girani, then fucking just play the tournament. Just play the tournament. That's all we're asking you to do is play the tournament. So anyways.
But I know you play with Lambo and Schumacher. Nothing against Adam. Girani and Lambo. That's a good team.
Different team.
Dude, they have had a good season on Series 1 this year. I think Girani's the highest ranked, like PTI. I know PTI hasn't always existed, but I think he's playing the best paddle he's ever played.
Is that right? I don't know. I don't have a good I don't really know what he used to be like, but he's playing great. He's playing amazing.
He's him and Lambo are good.
Yeah, they're so good. It's funny because it's like a 3-way thing, right? So they're playing really, really well. And then Schumacher and Lambo obviously play well together. They're playing nationals and stuff. But Girani and Schumacher had that quick experiment last year at Detroit. And so it was the one where they only placed like 12 teams and they should have done 16 and the draw got all busted up. And so they played me and Dan Hansen first round.
Oh.
And got torched. It was all Hansen, by the way. He was just hitting overheads and
cutting everything up.
That was like the least paddle, that I've played in a match. And then they played Steinman Marino in the back draw and lost that pretty bad.
Yeah.
And they haven't played together since. And so just that, partnerships are weird, right? It's like 3 great paddle players and 2 of the ways it works great.
Yeah. Paddle math doesn't always work.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right. So as long as we're kind of on the topic, Andrew, what's your opinion as someone who's only been in Chicago for a couple of years? Why is it that Chicago players don't play in a lot of national level tournaments? I mean, especially outside of Chicago. Like we see guys from the East Coast and maybe other parts of, I don't know what Pittsburgh and that area is, if you call that East Coast, but it doesn't seem with as many high level players in Chicago, it doesn't seem like there's that many that go to tournaments.
I think
outside.
Yeah, they're almost like, I don't know if it's aging out, but they used to, right? It like Paul and
Sure.
Pete and Girani and Dane, right? Like we can say what it is with each of them, right? Like Paul's knee and leg has kind of been bugging him. He was going to play a lot with Scott. Pete, maybe he's just kind of busy and got kids and, whatever else.
For Pete Barner in Chicago, Paul Rose and Pete Rose.
Yeah, sorry guys.
And Girani Barnes, yeah.
Girani
We're just
Barnes.
having a conversation. There's other people listening, unfortunately, so they,
And then Dane Schmigel, right? It's like his shoulders kind of jacked up and all this. And I know Marek Chervinsky's very busy with kids, and so he's playing more, but not a ton. And so I think it's just like kind of an aging out thing. And it's just a little less accessible, right? It's all flights.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. It's all kind of flights to the East Coast, and there's just more tournaments out there. Like these guys are like driving up Thursday morning for nationals, right? And it's like on the East Coast, 4 out of every 6 years, they can just kind of drive up the morning of to nationals if they want to, right? Like how nice is that? So I don't know. I think it's like that. What do you think?
I get my own opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think in Chicago, for those who don't know, like in Chicago, got, I don't know, 51 or 52 series or skill levels, divided between North Shore and Southwest. But, the top 3 series or skill levels are basically free agents. People can play for almost any place they want to. And so I think because of that, I think you probably get pretty consistently good matches every week at for the most part, right? Whereas, I know like in Jersey, basically pros who, if we assume those are the best players of the club, have to play with their own club. And so if their best team is a Series D or Series 4, they're playing with some dope like me on court 1, and it's me and the same person in the situation on the other side of the court hitting the ball back and forth to each other, and the pros are sitting there in the corner, nothing, right? So I don't think they get the level of competitiveness unless they have time, which is, tough to do, to play pickup matches outside of work if they're on court all day or whatever. So I just think in Chicago, there's enough good competitive matches every week at league that there's maybe less incentive to play tournaments, but it's just a hypothesis.
Yeah.
There's also that thing, I think, Noah, like when we've gone out east, the East Coasters, like they treat the pros like professional athletes. They're like professional athletes, and they're like, oh my God, it's Mikadoya, oh, it's Svembers.
Yeah.
Marek worked at a club here for a long while. When he was leaving, one of the members came up to him and goes, I had no idea you were like 4 in the country at one point. They just, it's not the same.
Yeah.
How different is this for Scott Mansiger, right? Scott Mansiger, what, 8-time national champion? And I don't think, I think if that kind of player was at a club out east, it would just be a much different level of respect or whatever you want to call it, right? I don't know, whatever it is. It just seems like it's very different here. But I don't know. I mean, it's too bad. Obviously, we've got so many good players in Chicago that it would be great to get more exposure on a national level for guys in Chicago like we had years ago. But I don't know, is what it is, I guess. You're right. Hopefully there's a new crew of good young players like you and others that
but there is. Look at the draw. You've got like Oaks is in there, and then like Shivdasani's in there, Andrew's in there, Granger, Lambo. There's a good group coming through now.
Yeah, no, we're getting them. That's
we'll call Marek an old man now, because he's what, mid to late 30s now.
Sounds pretty young to me.
Yeah, right. You and me both. He's the older of the young ones.
So for those who don't know, when Andrew's talking about playing this weekend, it was what, 70 degrees today or something, which was awfully nice. And then of course you're going to go out to Boston, and I think right now the forecast is what, mid 40s and rain most of the time.
Yep. A little bit. I think mostly Thursday. Thursday doesn't look good. Friday, Saturday. Friday looks better. It'll be okay. So,
are you playing the Ben Cup?
The Baird Cup.
Thursday?
The Baird Cup.
No, Ben Cup. It was
He
my
likes to
idea.
call
The
it-
APTA stole it from me.
There's
Years
no
back.
Ben Cup.
I've been talking about it.
Nobody's
for years.
playing that.
It's a sore subject, Andrew. Very
Might
sore
be a
subject.
party of one.
No one knew I was going to call it that.
That's funny. Yeah, I am. I think there's two flights of 5 teams for the men, so 10 teams total, and 5 teams for the ladies. So there's just going to be like a round robin, and then finals for the men, and then we'll see who comes out of it on top of the women's round robin. So
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Should we talk nationals?
Yeah. So so we have the draw here, right? So it's Sunday night, and we got the draw. Draw comes out Wednesday, pod comes out Thursday, so that's good, right?
Or
This
maybe
is the most
Wednesday night the pod could
professional
come
and
out.
organized we've ever been, Noah.
For sure.
Unbelievable. Thank you,
And
Andrew.
I hope there's no hacking and leaks, like when we schedule the podcast to go in advance and somebody hacks in and gets secret access to this beforehand. That'd be bad. That won't happen. Don't worry. Andrew's paranoid. Look at that. He's not
It
worried
won't
about
happen. Andrew was about to hang up on
I had
us.
a couple of people on me like, man, I tell these guys.
It's like having a kid. It's a surprise when they come out, or it's a surprise when the doctor tells you, months in advance. Same thing.
Yeah.
Andrew, be honest. It wasn't they said these guys. Tiernan was like, Ben needs to behave himself.
It's a good thing you're not going to nationals, Ben.
No, they love us now. Yeah, that. Come on. Do you want to talk seeds first?
Well, let's talk about the Stephen Mitchell rule first. Or did we
wait?
Did I do this last time? I think
no.
That he called me when I joined the players committee.
No.
When I started
this is exciting.
Okay, so this is a fun one. So man, okay, we're gonna have to think about this. What we do with this. So he calls and he's like, "Hey, I've got like 2 pieces of feedback for you," and I'm like, "Perfect, that's great, that's what we want." And he's like, "Not about me at all, not about me." And fine. He's like, "Hey, but I was looking at the Long Island draw this week. Humphreys, Osis, Koenig, they were the 1 seed, but they're on the bottom of the draw. Why is that? Why are they not at the top of the draw all the time?" And so that is a thing with paddle draws, right? It's like the way the groupings are, you just randomly do 1 and 2, you randomly do 3 and 4, and it's fine. But for 1 and 2, it doesn't matter, right? Just always put 1 on the top. That's what you do with any other sport. And so that makes sense. And then like, okay, fine. We can definitely fix that. Second piece of feedback. So number 1 seed, not about me at all. Number 1 seed should all day always be at the host site, right? They're the 1 seed, they should always be at the host site, right? And so that makes sense. Them mostly makes sense too. And for the paddle stuff, it's like, well, you got local pros in each draw and you try and get them at their home club's first round, right? So that they can, it's like where they fall in the draw. It's like, let their members watch them play once and get their ass kicked by Johan. That's great. And so this, I think the draw came out and somehow we missed it. And it was like 1 seed was at the bottom. And so because they're at the bottom, it's a big draw, right? 64 draw. And so they weren't at the country club either, in Boston. And so just that, now we're all looking at it and they're at the top of the draw at the country club. Life is good, right?
All right.
Okay. So
they're all good at the country club with Johan there?
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine with it. Yeah, I think
so.
We might have to edit that story out. We'll see.
Hey, Slav, so kind of talking about that a little bit. I mean, this year there was so much, I guess, parity or so many different winners, at least among the men, certainly. What looked like at the top for the seeds? I mean, how much disparity was? Because that's going by NRT points, correct? Obviously?
Yeah, it is. And so, I mean, before Philly last weekend, I think Nunez and Powers were not going to be in the top 4.
When I saw where they were seated, I was surprised.
Right. And then they won Philly and they jumped to 2. So, however you look at it, I know Nunez is new and Mark, doesn't play a ton the first half, but it speaks to it a little bit, right? And so, hey, so starting at the top of the draw.
Wait. So think about that for a second. Nobody knew who Guillermo Nunez was prior to Chicago. I'm all practical purposes, right? And all of a sudden, he and Mark Powers, who you said played basically half the season this year, the number 2 seed in the country.
Yeah,
the Nationals, right? Crazy.
If they weren't winning so much, it would be right.
No,
but they,
no, absolutely.
But they're just good.
Yeah, but it's just kind of mind-boggling.
I'll tell you what, I was at Skokie Country Club at Charities at the same site as Nunez in the morning, and they play with Salazar. I think he and Salazar, their second round match, they're playing Alex, Lambo, and Marek. And I just remember being on like the court next to them, and the first set ends, and like Marek and Alex just stay on the court for a minute, like, what the fuck just happened? They're just like, what, but anyways, that's funny. So Johan's playing Stulak and Morneau first round, right?
Yeah.
And so Ben texted me before this, he's like, dude, Morneau and Stulak got screwed, right? Because you lose to Johan, then you go in the back draw, tough match. And I feel bad because I was at Atlanta last week at Peachtree, and Jeff Morneau's there, and he's like unsure if he's gonna play. I'm like, are you gonna play Nationals? He's like, oh, I don't know, like maybe with Mike. I'm like, oh, you gotta play. Come on, you're gonna get it. You gotta play. He's like, maybe I'll get a wild card. I'm like, yeah, you get a wild card. Like you're in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, play, and then he gets Johan first round.
That was the first one that popped out to me. I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
they did Stulak and Morneau like that.
Exactly. But to your point also, Noah, he was like talking about Nationals and stuff. Like he's still super plugged in and thinking about it and watching and stuff. He's like, look, Andrew, seeds don't matter this year. Just like for good or for bad. He's like, this is the first year like that he's like, the first year I remember in so long where it's like seed doesn't matter, and so
yeah, I mean, you could probably realistically go down to the 8 seed and could certainly see a path where any one of those teams could win.
Totally.
I think you can go lower than that, in all honesty. Maybe not win it, but there could be an upset. One of the matches I'm looking at.
Probably that 12 seed for sure.
That 12 seed's badass.
Yeah. That's Andrew and his brother Robert Steinman.
Yeah, we it's hard to say that after a 3-hour like heartbreaker, with those guys.
No, but I mean, so back to that original question was, do you know what the points were? I don't have it up in front of me, but I assume the points were crazy close among the top 5 or 6 or something, weren't they?
Well, totally, because if you look at by individual now, Mark Powers is the number 1 player.
Really?
That's right.
That's interesting.
Johan and Steven are like tied for second or third. Second and third.
Wow.
Is that just because Johan and Steven had so many points to defend?
I think it's because they got second or worse at all the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
It's because they didn't.
So they were losing points every week. Yeah.
Right. And then, Powers wins 2 tournaments. Nunez wins a tournament and has a good result. I think. Yeah.
So what else jumps out at you in the men's draw?
The second, so lines 9 to 12. Tomas and Eric playing Trevor and Cam. Only because, Cone and Heck, only because it's Trevor Heck, and he'll make you go, 3 hours too, no matter what. We know Tomas isn't, Eric can rip through someone if he wants, but when guys like Trevor decide they're not going to miss, right? And he's got a guy like Cam Cohen who will listen to him and like get on board with the game plan, and he's not going to like stray. It's like, it could be a long match. And I think this is one of the good things about Nationals, right? If you're at a Grand Prix and that's your second match, or you're at a different tournament, that's your second match, you're like, shit, man, I got to go play 2 more after this, right? But the good thing, so it's an interesting match just because it's going to be really long, but it's like, okay, we just have to deal with this match today, right? 2 on Friday, deal with it, get ready for a third one. But it is funny for Tomas, right? Because then what does he do next? He goes and maybe plays Drew and Scott. Like it's just like kind of a long, arduous thing. And then if you keep going through that quarter, it's not like anyone wants to play Johan and Steven, especially in Boston, but Drew and Scott just worked him over in Detroit. Right. And so that's like you said, you're like, man, there's a path for anyone 1 to 8.
Right.
Like that's kind of the path is, well, we just did it, So what about you guys?
In the top little quarter there?
Yeah.
Hirsch and Wagner, Dan, we were trying to get Danny to come on tonight. When you and I originally spoke. Hirsch and Wagner's a solid team. I don't know much about Sven's partner.
I don't.
It's his assistant. Diego.
Okay, so obviously Mick's not playing, but is his assistant going to be really good?
Yeah, I think he's going to be good. He's very athletic. He hits a ton of spin. He's young and quick. I don't know that he's had a lot of success in tournaments thus far, but he has also played with a national champion. So, I would think they'll probably get out of that and get to play Johan and Steven.
Really? You think Sven and his assistant will beat Hirsch and Wagner?
I don't know about that.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to get to. Weren't we at? Yeah, we were having that discussion before Indy. There should be betting on this. I mean, there's betting on everything now. Like there should be betting.
There's going to be a little. There's going to be
a formalized way.
Yeah, DraftKings is going to have. They're going to have a tent on Saturday.
Great.
Talk about that. That's exciting.
Like at the country club. I don't have every single detail. I know there's going to be like lines on over-unders and things that, just little kind of prop bets and stuff that people can mess with. I don't know exactly what the winners get. It might just be like DraftKings credit or something. But I know that they're going to be there. They're like a sponsor.
I got to tell you, I think Graham has now lied to us, said he's not watching Dune. He's doing his homework, and I think Graham would clean up this
little
if they don't have their numbers right, Graham is going to clean up with DraftKings. He will have gone deep.
That's funny. That's really
it's all fun and games till the first player in the tournament bets against themselves, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, no, that could be exciting. I don't know.
Really?
I've played with Diego a few times out there. Every year before Short Hills, the last 3 or 4 years, I think I played with at the men's night at Sven's club. So I played with Diego a bunch of times. But he's a nice player, and obviously Sven will guide him through a lot of that. I think that could be an interesting, up the seed there.
Okay, so second round, you're taking Burish over Hirsch and Wagner. That's your first upset. Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
All right, fair enough.
I like those fellas, but that's my upset call right there.
I think there's a really good match on the second line of Chan and Cubs versus Marino and Oaks. That'd be a good match. Good.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the local guys, though.
Yeah. Are you?
Go
with the locals?
So. Yeah. I mean, it'll be good, but I got to go. Yeah. I mean.
But I think that's a good match, though.
Yeah. I mean, Mike's been there. I think Danny's playing well. I tell you what I think is going to be awfully interesting is Saturday afternoon, if things play out kind of the way I would assume they might, is the 3 seeds and the 5 seeds meeting.
Whoa. You're bouncing around. Where are we?
Yeah, just down the lower section. You got Albert Regalado and Jose Salazar.
Let's stop before that, though, because I think that Dennis and Friedrich against Regalado and Salazar in the third round.
Yeah.
That's a fun match to watch.
Yeah, I think so too.
I hope they live stream that because I'm not going to be in Boston and I would watch that match.
They're all young, right?
Yeah.
They can all it's going to be athletic. Like you hope it's like 45 degrees and like cloudy, right?
Just
like let's just see some great battle. I agree. And I think Dennis and Friedrich are going to come into this thing like super hungry because I don't know, like it's a mix of things. Like they've kind of either gotten bounced out of tournaments. They had 2 close matches, 3-setters with Johan kind of, and maybe he's speeding it up and just trying to get through, I don't know, but it's like, they have those 2 matches. They look like they're really good. They kind of are quiet for another 2 months after that. Right. And I just feel like they're coming in, made the quarters last year, right? They beat Juan and Mark, and it's like, points to defend, just want to win. They're going to be playing 2 other young guys. Like, I feel like, they're just going to be really amped up for it.
Yeah, that was my pick of an upset in the 3rd round.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Regalado and Salazar have been so good, but
that'll be a good match, but I don't see the upset there.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That was my pick for an upset. But
great. I hope they live stream it.
I think that is such a good match in the 3rd round.
Below that 2nd round, I've got Hagman Murphy taking down Russell and Andre.
Hagman and really?
I just they've been kind of in a weird funk. Like Hagman and Murphy have been in a weird funk, right? Like they just lost to they lost to Ronnie and Zach at Indy, and then Tom Murphy like chucks his paddle into the woods and nobody can find it, and then they bail out of the back draw. Like, okay, so that was weird. But I think they just have the right game to beat Russell and Andre, right? Like Russell and Andre are all like spin and hit, and Hagman Murphy are just like together. If they're not like trying to overdo it, right? Like if Hagman's not trying to rush through something because he thinks Tom wants him to play faster, right? Like, so this is where Hagman Murphy run into issues, is that like Hagman could do that. I don't know that he does that often, especially in a main draw. Maybe in a back draw he does it more. And then, but Tom Murphy, his flaw, like they're so good. But Tom Murphy, his flaw is like, is he going to overcompensate because he thinks it's taking too long, it's too slow? And so I think if they can just like get it in their head that, hey, we're the perfect matchup as we are without doing anything extra to just grind down Russell and Andre, like 2 guys that love to swing and just flashy, right? Like, I just think that they can win it without doing anything special.
Interesting. That would be a good match, though.
Yeah. So
I like that. And Tom Murphy is just such a good dude. Well, both those, Hagman and Murphy, are just such good dudes.
They are. You just want the nice guys to.
So nice. Yeah.
We like nice guys.
So you think Fraser and Morgan are going to get through their first couple? Yes.
Yeah.
Fairly
comfortably.
You mean they won't lose to Eddie Burns first round?
I think that Eddie Burns will convince him to put the score in as like 4-4. Right.
That should be one of the DraftKings bet. Will Eddie Burns try and get them to fuck with the score? Yeah.
How many games does he get? And it's like, do you bank on it or do you not? Right. That's funny. Great.
So Fraser and Morgan are gonna probably,
And that's the other thing, like in the quarter, and this is where it gets tricky, right? It's like we're saying, okay, Dennis and Friedrich and Regalado and Salazar, they're gonna kind of beat each other up for a couple hours.
Right.
And Fraser and Morgan are going to kind of roll. And that just makes that Saturday, that quarter, like so much easier for Fraser and Morgan, right?
I look to the same thing. And I think Fraser and Morgan will be fairly comfortable through Saturday afternoon, right?
Must be nice.
Yeah. I've never been there.
All right.
Should we about the bottom half? Yeah.
Araya McNerney is the 4 seeds.
Juan is injured a bit. Is he healthier now? Well,
he's playing a Padel tournament in Miami right now. He looks healthy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Drinking margaritas and playing Padel.
There you go.
But Graham's not going all the way out to Boston just to have fun. So I would assume Graham's going to make him knuckle down and play properly.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's making Juan do anything. If you guys saw Philly there.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was quite entertaining. That was I'm surprised they're not using that in some highlight videos of that. That was good.
Yeah. Hey.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. So who do you guys have? Baxter and Granger or Anton and Louis?
Well, I was going to say Baxter and Granger, that's not an easy match for them first round.
Yeah, Genius and Admire.
Okay. Yeah. I
Not
don't
an
know
easy
Genius
first
and
round
Admire
for
that
them.
well. I don't know them, but I heard they're good.
Yeah. Genius's claim to fame was he was, my understanding, he was #1 tennis player in the country in college at SMU.
Wow.
Number one ranked in singles or something. I don't know anybody.
Great.
Obviously.
Yeah, that was my first round match that I thought that was going to be. That was a really close first round match.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Great.
But no, it'll be interesting seeing who comes out of there. I think that'll be good. If whoever wins that match, and Anton and Louis, Anton Purtsenko and Louis Vauclair,
do you guys
bottom half?
Yeah, do you guys know their games very well? Like if we just played it out, it's like Anton and Louis serve, they suck. Their serves are bad, and Mitch and Ryan just bang forehands. Yep. Right? So is it like how quickly are Anton and Louis gonna adjust? Like how much pride do they have? Right? Meaning like, are they even gonna try to come in? Right?
Have you seen Louis dress? He's got no pride. Let's he's got no shame. He'll bail on that right away.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, so much of this though, right? It's kind of like NHL playoffs or whatever. I mean, any kind of playoffs of any kind. It's like whoever gets hot for X number of matches, right? I mean, that's why I think you could have teams that really put in some big upsets, because all you do is get hot for the weekend, right? And just be on.
But was it meant to rain on Friday or no? Just Thursday?
Not really. I don't think right now, not really.
Okay, so just kind of cloudy and gray.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, is the net an advantage? I don't know, right? It's like, who cares about a big forehand if you get into the net and it's not helping you, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know. So,
so let's just say Baxter and Granger got through that. You think, how would they do against Anton and Louis? I would take Anton and Louis.
You would?
Yes.
All right. I hate to correct you on the weather front, Andrew, but I'm looking at Thursday and wind according to weather.com. Fridays AM showers, Saturdays PM showers, and Sundays just showers. Looks like right around 50% chance. Well, Thursday is 98%, which is a pretty high percentage, and the rest of it's right around 50%. So I don't know, it's ugly. So that may be a game changer, right? I mean, I think everyone remembers in New Jersey a few years ago. That finals in the rain was just, it was all about who was faulting and who wasn't, because it was so brutal out. So
yeah. Well, sure.
Wait, can we go back to Anton and Louis? Who do you think's going to get out of that tiny little four group there?
Out of the four?
Yeah.
I think Anton and Louis.
We'll play McNerney and Orion in the third round.
Yeah, if I were betting, that's what I would bet.
Okay.
It'll be some good stuff, though. Let's look at the next one, though. Andrew's playing, favorite of the show, Tyler Owens in the first round. That's a tough one.
That is. I've never played Tyler. I've sat next to him at dinner, and I know that he doesn't know his stakes very well, Noah. But
Oh, that was absolutely priceless.
Wait. What's the story? Tell it.
That's too funny. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he ordered. I actually don't know which way he mixed it up. Noah, can you do it?
He ordered a certain kind of steak. I don't know enough about steak to know, but he ordered maybe a something fillet or something.
He ordered So he thought he ordered a ribeye, and the guy was like brought him a ribeye fillet. So there were the three options on the menu, right? It's like fillet, ribeye, or fillet of ribeye, right? Which is that middle piece in the ribeye.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so they brought him, they thought he ordered like the fillet of the ribeye, but he wanted the whole thing.
He wanted the bone in.
Yeah, or he wanted, the other piece to it too. He just wanted like a regular ribeye, and he gets it, and he's just like, what the fuck? He's like, what is this? He's like, this looks like a fillet. And then someone else has a fillet and I have a ribeye, and he's like, oh yeah, I wanted that one, and the waiter's like, it just has to explain it to him, right?
Well, in fairness, I've never heard Tyler swear, so I don't know that he said that exactly, but conceptually that was correct.
Yeah,
but,
I've heard him swear.
The funnier part of the whole thing, though, was that he was upset about it long enough that by the time the waiter came back, his steak was already cold, and it was the right, he still had to eat it. So
yeah, that's right.
But it was cold. It was cold by then because he was waiting on it the whole time.
So I'm gonna bring that up at like 11:55 before the match, and hopefully, we'll sneak through it.
Throw him off his game. A little mental warfare.
Exactly.
Nice. Nice.
I think you guys will be fine first round. You and Mr. Steinman.
So here's going to get interesting. Is on the bottom half of that little section. Could you imagine Jay Woldenberg, with Humphreys and Osis Koenig?
That's a quirky court.
I mean, that's just there's definitely some mental warfare going on there.
So who is Jay's partner? Talkman. I don't know him, but I think Graham hooked him up.
Right? Yeah, he's Sky Kalkman. He's out of Rochester, and he's good. I mean, he knows how to play paddle. He can swing off of both sides. He's played for a while. He's just a good, he's the perfect partner for Jay.
Really?
He'll play the deuce side, and he'll just kind of do nothing special, but he's not going to do anything because what we all know about Jay, and some people who listen probably know, is that he knows the game. If he's not the most talented, his mind is good enough to play the game the right way all the time, and to dissect the opponent and figure it out. Right. This is what he said in his podcast, right? He's like, I love thinking it through and doing the right things. And Sky. So last year, Jay Woldenberg played with Brett Binkley, right, in Nationals. Yep. And so those two, they just didn't jive. Sky is a much better partner for him, mentally, I think.
Right.
And he'll hang with Jay in terms of doing the right thing and wanting to, do the right things. And so I think they could sneak out of the first one. That guy Rodriguez is good, Enrique.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's a big dude too.
He is a big dude. And I'm going to tell him, I think, I love Jay so much. I'm going to tell Enrique Thursday when I see him, or Friday, hey, just this guy he can't drive off the screens. Just bang it off the screen. And he doesn't really close that hard. So you can kind of go at him down the line or something. It'll be fine, and
I don't know. Jay's mental game might get Enrique fired up. There could be some fireworks on that court, I think.
I agree.
Might want to mic that one up. That'll be good.
He gets everyone fired up.
Well, and I've heard stories. I missed it, but I've heard stories about Enrique getting upset.
That's awesome. He gets upset. Jay's gonna love that.
Yeah, that could be a good one.
Jay's gonna show up with his earmuffs on and his Coleman
the water cooler
jug. Yeah. Enrique's not gonna know what's happening.
So, Coach Ashford, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's just say everything goes according to the seeds, and we play, and I play Humphreys and Osis Koenig. Did you watch the first match in Detroit? When we played them? Okay.
No.
Okay, so then blind, what would you tell us to do?
Jeez. It's
pray.
Oh man. All right.
You don't have to answer that either. I don't really know.
Just fire backhands all day.
What's that?
Have both of you guys fire backhands. You and Robert fire backhands all day. Try to put them through.
Yeah. They're they transition so well, those two. So if Robert's firing backhands, they'll leisurely go back, lob it up. They're
you know what the difference is?
They don't really care. I don't think that will phase them. I think you've got to be a lot pickier. You can't just swing for the fences with those guys. Where Andrew
unless it's raining.
That if it's raining, absolutely. If it's raining, I think you guys are favorites.
I think that's going to change. I think if it's raining, I think that's going to change a lot of things for a lot of people, right? Because
has Andrew been hitting that big slash overhead of his to the deuce player?
Has Andrew?
Robert?
Yeah. Person on?
Robert, sorry, not you, Andrew. Robert.
Robert's got one of the best rain overheads I've ever seen.
That's why I'm saying, if it's raining, I think you guys become like, you could be favorites with Robert cracking, and I don't know.
So talk about that a little bit. Let's assume that there's a bunch of matches played in the rain. What styles are favored, do you think, or what are at a disadvantage?
I think natural ball strikers that can just get to the net, like no matter what, right? Like put the serve in, that's most important, right? Put the serve in. But then after that, it's like natural ball strikers they can just find a way to get to the net. Like they don't care about, like they can time it up. You know, like I've heard stories of Johan playing the rain. He's the only one who can just like make great contact with the ball still, right? Johan and Mick, right? But to a lesser degree, it's like, God, Steinman backhand, I don't think he cares about the rain. Like
I don't think so.
He doesn't, I don't think he cares about anything. You know,
you know what? And he is such an unbelievable tennis player. And the rain turns it in more into a tennis match. And he's, you know, the best tennis player on that court.
Yeah. And so, you know, keep moving down the draw. It's like, okay, another Saturday morning match. Philippe and Martin playing Hansen and Wright. A little bit of rain. It's like Philippe and Martin, like Hansen can spin the ball with the best of them, right? But Dan Wright feels like the odd guy out there. And it feels like Philippe and Martin are just going to be torturing them, right?
Yeah. That's a good team. I like that Rams Bostrom team.
Just depends if they're both on.
If they're both on, I think that's a fairly comfortable match for them, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're fairly comfortable into playing Nunes and Powers in the, what would that be, the quarters?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you do have Nobu in that section.
True.
That's right.
Yeah, we've got to mention Nobu. We couldn't have him on tonight, but you got to. And how do you say his partner's name?
Matt Puig. Matt Puig from New Jersey, now out in Denver.
All right, so will they be playing Bostrom and Rams in the second round?
Yeah. They're playing Milo Johnson and Bruno Santarelli, couple local Boston guys.
Okay, cool.
So they'll be the crowd favorites will be the Boston guys. But I think that Nobu and Matt will probably get through them.
All right, but so Bostrom and Rams through to the quarters fairly comfortably.
Yeah.
You know, but can I go back to the Ong, Steinman, Humphreys, Ostes, Koenig?
Please.
That's a good match. I want it to rain.
That's going to be a good match.
I like those. I like Felipe and Chris. Super nice guys. They came in and did a bunch of stuff with us in Chicago. Great guys. But, you know, Andrew, we love you, and Robert's awesome. And my son thinks Robert's the most awesome person in the world.
Definitely.
Through the Marvel stuff. So I hope it rains and it becomes a tennis match.
Yeah, I hope so.
But you know what, though, again, I mean, not to blow smoke, Andrew, but I mean, that's again, four young athletic guys. And it's like we talked about in the earlier match with Albie and Jose and Dan Friedrich. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, they'll be really entertaining matches for sure all around, because you used to have, young, good players coming in. So it's great.
Definitely.
I love this transition of younger guys in the game now. Now I'm not playing. I think it's awesome. The old guy moved into the 90s and 110 division now. So
That's right.
I'm all good.
That's right.
I love all these young guys playing these matches. I think it's fantastic.
So, do you think it's going to be an advantage? I mean, if we assume that Nunez and Borges have a pretty easy relative, I mean, like not easy, but on a relative basis, I would say they've got an easier draw going through into Saturday afternoon probably than most, right? Is that going to be a big advantage to them?
So Can we talk about who they might play third round? Because I think the Chawinski Nolan McGrath Rose match is good.
Really?
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Who do you
I
think?
think so.
You turned your nose up when I said that. Who do you think's coming out of that match?
Oh, I think Matic and Thomas. I didn't really think it was that good of a match.
Well, no. I meant a good match as I think that's an upset.
Oh yeah, agreed.
I assume Thomas and Matic come through that. It might go 3. Do you not think?
I mean, maybe, right? Because those, I don't think
right?
Yeah. But I mean, neither of those guys. I don't think Thomas and Matic have played a whole lot this year, right?
No,
I mean, I think they're a great team, but
they've played a couple times together. Like, I don't even think McGrath and Paul Rose have been on court together.
Oh, have they not?
Maybe years ago, but not in the last couple of years, right?
Oh, okay. But it's a good team. But I that was another one of the seeds going down in the second round that I thought would happen.
Right. Yep.
And then you've got Nunes, Powers, Chawinski, Nolan. So you think Nunes, Powers kind of cruises?
Yeah.
Cruises all like they did.
First set.
I think they're cruising.
I love Matic. He's one of my favorite people on earth, and it kills me to
I know.
pick against him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we make this a 3-hour episode, we should look at the women's draw.
Well, can we go through to the quarterfinals real quick? What do we got?
Sure.
Let's go all the way through. All right. So do you want to start where we've just finished at the bottom half and work our way back up?
I think I just want Ben's picks. I want them. I think I want them quickly. I want you to tell me who's coming out of each quarter real quick, and then I want to do semis and then the final, and then right. I think we should all think about it for like 10 seconds and then decide if we disagree with Ben.
All right. Well, Matic, I'm really sorry. I apologize, Matic. I think Nunes and Powers are coming through that. I think Bostrom and Rams.
And who's winning that match?
Nunes Powers.
Okay.
In 2 sets.
Yeah.
And then, all right. I'm gonna get hate, but I'm taking Araya McNerney over Ong and Steinman to make it to the.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
No, that means you took on Ong and Steinman.
Yeah, great upset
over the 6
I'm not
seed.
sure what. Yeah. So that's that one. Fraser Morgan. Fraser Morgan.
Telling you, that might be the match of the day right there.
But I'm going back on what I said. Yeah, Fraser Morgan. I think they're going to play Regalado and Salazar.
See?
Even though I don't know. I like.
You just went back on it.
I know. I like that Dennis and Friedrich. Man, I don't know. That's such a good match. They have to live stream that match.
I agree.
All right, screw it. I'm going to pick Dennis and Friedrich, but they're going to lose to Fraser Morgan.
Yeah,
out of that.
That's right.
And then I'm going to take Broderick and Kayla will lose to Mitchell and Durant.
What's your time estimate on Broderick and Kayla playing Eric and Tomas?
7.5 hours. Because they'll stay there all day and just lob all day.
Okay.
And the master will beat the student.
Yeah, that's right.
So what have I got as my semi? I've got Mitchell Durant, Fraser Morgan, Araya Wow, I really didn't go off script, did I? When you look back on it, I went
scripted. I mean, yeah.
They
earned it, right?
I went 1, 2, 3, 4 with a couple of upsets in there.
Yeah, they've earned it. All right, so who's winning? Johan and Boston? That's it?
Yeah. I would like to see, again, I'm a big fight fan, so I would love to see when a fighter finishes their career, they put the gloves in like the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
I would love to see Johan and Steven win and peace out. I think that would be awesome. That they win and then, hey, we're done. You guys fight amongst yourselves.
Totally.
That would be awesome. I'd like to see that.
That'd be good. Interesting.
Any disagreements? I'm wrong most of the time, so you guys can please.
No,
I think it'll be a great tournament.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm going to be Switzerland. I have too much of a vested interest, so I think we're going to be some
it's got
great
a lot
matches.
more invested.
I think they'll. I mean, listen, it's going to be. I mean, I really hope the rain doesn't play a huge part in tweaking things, or it's not horrible. But I just think there's going to be so many great matches this year. I'm excited to see a lot of them. I think it's going to be an amazing tournament.
Me too.
Yes.
But again, I think it comes down to, I mean, again, if you assume that most of the seeds get through, the higher level seeds get to where they should be. I mean, all you have to do is get hot, let's say Saturday and Sunday, not even Friday, because Friday should be an easier day for most of the top seeds, right? So get hot for 2 days, and I think there's an awful lot of teams that could roll through if they play 3 good matches.
Yeah.
Hey, Noah, do you want to pick the winner of the draw that you and I are normally in? Should we do the last chance winner?
That's, I think, too tough to call. Who's gonna lose the first 2 matches and then win the third?
I think there might be a couple of teams in the last chance where you're like, holy shit, how did they end up here?
Well,
Andrew's looking at it now. That's a compelling one that DraftKings could probably put some money on.
It doesn't depend who gets an injury default on the way out.
It does.
Hey, who are you taking real quick? McKnight and Teofanic over Albrechts and Powell. Evan Powell and Jerry Albrechts.
I think them pretty easy.
McKnight and Vuk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just wondering. It popped out.
Who's Evan Powell? Is he the coach at Wesleyan tennis coach?
Boston. He's a Boston guy. He's played quite a bit with.
Yeah. Oh, so I played him. I think if it's who I'm thinking, I think he's the tennis coach at Wesleyan. But he and Jerry played Boston Open last year, and
really
John
nice
Weinland.
kid.
Oh yeah, kid. Is it? Oh, maybe it's not the right person I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he's young guy.
Is he younger? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's in his 20s.
Never mind. Because I played Jerry Albrechts and his partner, who was the coach at Wesleyan, with John Weinlander from Volley in the back draw of Boston last year. I offended his partner. I said something stupid. He played well. You heard the story, Andrew, right? At dinner, he plays like Jeff Morneau. He hits like 2-handed forehands and backhands, and I'm like the only person I've really ever seen do that is Jeff Morneau. And so, they beat us, which shocking, but not shocking. I was kidding. And so afterwards, I'm like, you're amazing. You played great. I mean, obviously, you don't really have a tennis background based on, how you hit the 2-handed forehand backhand. He goes, oh, I played at Brown, actually. So I'm like, all right, I'm a jackass. So I guess that wasn't Evan Powell, because this guy was probably, I would guess, around 40 or so.
No. I don't believe that's Evan. Evan's a young guy.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I would say Ben and Vuk will win that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How many? Just real quick. How many? Do you know how many Xenon players you have playing in, let's say, the men's draw?
A lot. I haven't counted. A lot.
Right.
Fortunately, yeah. No, it's very fortunate, but no, I haven't counted.
Awesome.
I like our odds for this would be something I don't usually talk about, but we've been very fortunate the last 2 years to have all men and all women national champs. This year might be more challenging, obviously, with kind of anybody can win some of these things, but it'd be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great national. It'll be fun. Let's look at the women.
Let's do it.
Crazy here. All right, women are a little bit easier, right? Because I don't think it's quite as deep, and probably have some easier early matches. And actually, only 50 teams signed up out of the 64 slots.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm taking Kavanagh and Hall to win the whole thing.
Oh my God.
That's it. Upset in third round.
They're gonna have to get through through the Pittsburgh girls, Vanessa Steiner and Mary Wilson first.
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
I want to give them a shout out because Vanessa coached my college tennis team for 2 years, and so
I don't know Vanessa, but Mary's a good player, isn't she?
She is. Yeah, they're both good. I think they're both in the in this seeding thing. It's like a 17 to 20, right? They're like 17 through 20 playing 13 to 16, and so I've never seen Tiernan play. I hope that's a good match. I told Tiernan I'd definitely be playing Switzerland on that one.
She's her country club champion like 19 years in a row or something. Oh no, her name's like on the board like every year winning the championship.
Too modest. I'm gonna text her about that.
He's a baller. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the men's, we thought 8 to 10 teams really kind of had a shot at it, even though I ended up picking all top 4 to make the semis. How many teams, in all honesty, do we think stand a chance in the ladies' draw?
6. 4.
6.
6 to be,
I think the top 7 could all make a lot of noise. I think there's probably 4.
Here, real quick, we'll get there in a second, but how's this team of Alexandra and Lalic?
Georgia Alexandra's playing well this year, and Lisa Lalic, I know, she hits the ball really, really hard, top 250 in the world in tennis. And I know, I remember listening to an interview with Flor Hannish earlier in the year, and she was talking about who she was worried about, maybe that's not the right word, who she didn't want to play or something at some point during the year. And she said Lisa Lalic, her partner, because Lisa just hits the ball a ton.
And I think the thing with the top, we're 4 teams could win, and then we say kind of 6 or 7. I think what it is like the Friedrich, Dennis, and Salazar Regalado match. It's there are 7 or 8 teams that could change how players feel, right? And change long matches, or make someone uncomfortable, or you lose a set, or it makes your day get a lot crazier. Because different than the men, right? The men are going 2 matches in the main draw. The women, it's 4 and 2. So that quarterfinal is Friday night primetime match. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Friday. That Alexandra and Lalic against Burish Elliott. That's a good match, huh?
Exactly. And so it's hey, you just got to be super, really do a good job in your first 2 matches, right? There's just no room for messing around. I know we see it a little less in the women's draw, the crazy score lines and long matches, but it's nationals, right? There's still no room for any of that. If you're a top team, you got to come out Friday morning ready to go.
No, so out of that top quarter, who are you taking to make it to the semis? Mr. Ong.
Burish and Elliott. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Fairly comfortable in that quarter?
Yeah.
Or some comfortable with some entertaining points?
Exactly. And I think it gets interesting in the next quarter, right? Because I think Morgan Sakura and Delmonico Gebbia is great.
Okay. Noah looks confused. Sorry.
Gotcha. All right. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Right. Those 2, that quarter and the next quarter is great as well, right? Hallbauer, Nicolescu, and Cruz Lopez. I think they just played at Short Hills, and this was something Tiernan told me earlier. He was Hallbauer, Nicolescu, it was hot, and they just kind of abused Liz Cruz with FYMs, just tore her up. And so it's hey, did they learn anything? What's the strategy change going to be for Cruz and Lopez? And I think Hallbauer is a new player, right? And she just gets better every time she plays still.
Yeah, for sure.
She was a top WTA, not top WTA, but a WTA,
200.
Right, exactly. Player as well. And so her ball striking is just so good. She's got a great mentor in Nicolescu, right? So so I know that they beat Cruz and Lopez, but still a good match.
Was that the match, the 3 FYMs in a row that was played? There was one of them was FYMing, I think, Liz Cruz 3 or 4 times in a row.
I think so. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. I think they both were.
Okay. Oh, were they both doing it?
Both doing it to Liz, and yeah, B was like, what do I do?
All right. So up above that, who's getting out of Delmonico and Gebbia, the old cutters and cocktails against Morgan and Sakura? Who you got?
Andrew?
Morgan and Sakura.
Okay.
We stick with Chicago, right?
Yeah, but guaranteed Delmonico and Gebbia win the party.
Always,
right? They totally win it. All right. All right, so who are you taking? Cruz and Lopez or Halbauer and Nicolescu?
Halbauer and Nicolescu, and I'm actually taking them to have a really great match Saturday.
That was my next question. We're assuming Hanish and Zabori, like their quarter is fairly weak. No offense to anyone in that.
no, I mean, but they've right.
They just haven't done anything where you think that they would lose in the quarter.
Right.
Like if history repeats itself, right? They just kind of win the quarter.
Yeah. Right. They're fairly comfortable until what's that? Saturday lunchtime?
Yeah, Saturday lunchtime. And I just, I think just Halbauer and Nicolescu, they ended up in the right side of the draw.
Hey, let me ask you this. Is this correct? I mean, we can edit this out if it's not. Shurish and Elliott is the 1 seed, be playing in theory the 8 seed if it gets there rather than the 7 seed?
No.
Where
50-50
no?
shot, 7 or 8.
Okay. That goes
but there are
to
2 8
seeds. Question.
Do you see the 2 8 seeds?
Oh, yeah.
49,
the
56.
The 2 8 seeds are playing each. Okay, so Hanish and Zaboria is the 2 seed is going to play. Well, assuming they'll play one of the 8 seeds.
And so the reason for that is on the signups on the NRT points, they were the same. Those 8 and 9, the 2 8s out to 4 decimals. How crazy is that?
There was no head-to-head matches?
If you go out past 4 decimals,
it's pretty.
Jackson and it was just a whole big thing. But it didn't matter because they made the draw and it was just like this anyways.
Well, I would say though that Hanish and Zabori probably have an easier quarter, right? Than Verish Elliott do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So are you taking Anna and Floor through to the final?
Through to the final. I'm not going beyond that match that I just commented on. I think there's gonna be some great matches there in the semis for sure. I think the semis gonna be awesome. You said this before, and I mean, you guys are obviously far better players than I am, but like I think for players like me, a club player, like I can't relate to what Andrew does, right? I mean, I was on the court with him one time and he was being nice to me, but like I can't play like him. I can't imagine playing like Juan and Steven do, or some of these guys, right? But I can watch the women play, and even though they're better than I am, I can at a high level. It's just like it's more relatable, right? Because the skill sets are a little bit more relatable there than some of the insanity that the top men do, right? What are you, Andrew, smiling? I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I don't know. It's just like I
don't think you're going to get yourself in trouble. We had B. Lopez on a couple of weeks ago, and she completely agreed.
Yeah. I mean, it's like to me, it's like the NBA, right? Like it's watching guys, do crazy dunks. Like that's just not fathomable for most people. But you can pass and you can take jump shots well, like more of the women's game is. And I think it's kind of like that in paddle, even though the top women's paddle players are probably significantly above some of the middle ranked players. But I think it's just as guys, it's more, I don't know, it's something that's easier to kind of see and say, yeah, that makes sense to me, or I can do some of those types of things,
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
But I mean, I think that's what I'm saying. I think those semis are going to be amazing.
Noah's not picking through the semis. Andrew, are you going to, or is this left to me again?
No, I'm not, and part of it is I'm just not as familiar with the game as I should be.
Yeah,
I would say that it seems like Macy and Lynn are just more dynamic, right?
That's
not a hot take. That's not a hot take. That's not that's not something that people don't say or whatever, but I think it's just the truth in it. It's important.
No, you're right, but I mean, in fairness too, right? They didn't win wasn't their first win in a Grand Prix. Was it Philly? Was that the first? No, well, like they didn't win a one of the first couple Grand Prix, right? Am I wrong?
Wait, this year?
Yeah,
I honestly don't know.
I'm trying to think.
Noah's going to pull it up as we talk. You should know this as the sponsor of these ladies.
I know. I'm an idiot. That's not my problem.
Hey, can I ask one question? Why do ladies hate it when they go out and they dress the same as someone else when they go out, yet they all love to dress exactly the same when they play paddle? They would be mortified. Question. They were mortified if they went out to a restaurant and someone was wearing the same dress. Yet every team will go out in matching clothing the entire time.
That's funny. That is funny.
I always wondered, like the men, you'll never see the men matching. They were like, I think these pants are clean. We're good.
So I take that back. So Charity, Hannah Sabori won over Burrish and Elliott.
Okay.
Detroit Grand Prix, Burrish and Elliott won for Hannah Sabori. Let's see. Bill Cricket.
Macy and Lynn won.
And Philly Cricket. Philly Cricket. Come on.
This is riveting for people listening now.
I know. This is high. Here we go. I found it.
You scrolling down.
This is high quality. Hannah Sabori beat Burrish at Philly Cricket, and Short Hills, Burrish and Elliott won. They beat Hannah Sabori, right? Yeah. So, I mean, talk about a little bit of parity between those two, right? Each, head to head in all 4 Grand Prix, and they split.
Yep.
So. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
It's been a few years that Hanish and Zabori aren't the favorites, or at least the 1 seed going in, right? Yeah. It's been at least 3 years. So we did all this talking and we just went with the top 4 seeds to go through in both draws.
They've earned it. They've been playing great.
Over the course of a whole season, they're the 4 teams that were consistently the best. So.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good weekend. All right.
I did think at first I was going to say Regalado and Salazar were going to come through and win it. But once I saw the draw, I'm like, I don't see them going all the way through that. I wanted to say that they were going to win it. But no, sorry. Nope, that's it.
I don't know.
Top 4 seeds.
Okay, so all right, so if you had to guess, here's a question for you. Outside of the top 2 women's seeds, right? Who would you pick as the dark horse to win? And then outside of the top 4 men's seeds, who would you pick as the dark horse to then win?
Well, I'm kind of bummed Roxy's not playing. I love watching Roxy play.
Yeah.
Andrew, you go first.
Outside Morgan and Sakura.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. They beat him at Long Island, Lynn and Macy. I mean, they have the experience. They just need to, like Noah said, you just got to get hot for a couple matches a weekend, groove and feel the ball. And I think on the men's side, outside of the top 4, you know what? I don't want to talk about the men's. I'm out on. I don't want to talk about it.
I was curious how far he was going to get.
Yeah,
we got one side of the draw, Adam.
Yeah,
we got the ladies.
Ben, do you have a thought on the men?
Outside the top 4 of the men?
Yeah.
I think Regalado, Salazar.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, no, I'll see you there.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. The Hall of Fame dinner Thursday night.
I'll be there.
First time in
Who's getting inducted?
Johan,
Who's
Oh,
that?
that's right.
the Lion. You know,
Andrew doesn't know that story.
no, the Lion.
Everyone calls him the goat. We call him the lion.
Oh, that's
When
funny.
Yeah.
Well, no. But when he was on the podcast, I don't know.
No,
Was it 2 years ago?
You can't say why we call him the lion.
Well, it's a South African saying for anybody who knows. That's we'll leave it at that. But it's like the first time in 7 or 8 nationals that I've gone to, I'm actually going to the dinner. So I'm looking forward to see what protocol is.
Yeah.
Who's inducting Johan?
Excellent question. I don't know if they have somebody who inducts, if it's like the Hall of Fame for other sports or not.
I didn't know. I always thought it was like someone close to that person or knows them well was the one that.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we'll have a full report on the first episode after Nationals. How's that?
I like it.
When we do our wrap up. Hey, real quick, Andrew, as someone who's not involved with the Players Committee, do you have any feedback on the experiment for, I guess, Boston's league as well as Baltimore's league on the lob rule?
Wait, Andrew, you were watching my match on Thursday night, and I tell you what, my partner went for a tomahawk off of a waterfall, missed it. I dug out a lob, and my partner was actually dropped his paddle. So I was like digging it, and I hit the highest, most beautiful lob down the line, landed it in, and the fucking thing bounced out of the court, and I lost the point. And I was like, I wish I was in Boston right now because I would have won the point off of that.
I haven't heard any feedback about it. I think it's a great idea. I personally like it as a lobber myself. I like it.
I think it's great.
But I would say, Ben, it makes sense for you that specifically happened. The one time it happens for you is against Jay. That makes sense.
Of course.
That just kind of logically makes sense.
You can't have a match that's not got something weird going on without Jay involved.
Yeah, like Burka verbally abusing him for, every other point, which, you can leave that in. No need to edit it out, but I guess I'll.
I don't even think Jay realizes he does this, but he's so good at it'd be like 3-all, 30-all. And you're about to serve, and he'll be like, guys, what's the score? And I truly think he doesn't know the score, but his timing is impeccable.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. It's unbelievable.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I've been on the court for it many times.
Yeah. Oh, guys, I don't know the score. Yep. It just delayed the game.
Well, Peter does the same thing. He makes you recap every point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hey, so real quick, just as we were talking about that lob rule, assuming that there is a change at some point, or maybe even, well, let's assume you play with that. What's your thought process? Like, would you take balls out of the air, or would you try to short hop the balls and try to cut them? What's the thought process?
No short hopping from that far back. That's scary.
Yeah. I suppose it depends where it lands, right?
All the good players are going to do is see you let it drop, and they're just going to blitz and get like. Try short hopping the ball with Johan standing on top of the net. See what happens. It's not possible.
I think we'll just play it safe. Take it out of the air.
So just play more balls, basically. That otherwise you might have let drop.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, don't worry. Next episode, we're going to talk about expanding the court, making it bigger. That'll be for the next episode.
That's only Noah that wants that.
No, I don't want that. That was a dinner topic, so it won't affect my game at all. But there's a thought process that might speed up the game, but that'll be for another show. We'll get on. This has been a long one already. So,
well,
Randy, you gonna wrap it?
Andrew, let's have you back on the show soon. We love having you on, dude.
I'd love to. Happy to. Thanks for doing it.
I love that you're in Chicago now. I love everything you do for the game of paddle. I think you're an awesome addition to Chicago and paddle in general. And thank you for coming on again, dude. You're the best. Appreciate it.
Phenomenal wrap up. Thank you both. Appreciate it. No, I'll see you Thursday.
Absolutely. Yep. Sounds good. See you guys. Take care.
Later.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Inside the Wires. Andrew Ong is the best. He is just, I know I said it to him when he was here, but he's just such a great addition to just paddle in general. But I think he's awesome to be part of Chicago Paddle. I think we're lucky to have him. Thanks for listening to our picks. I think, I'll get told I'm an idiot and I'm wrong. I'm sure Blake Anderson will text me and tell me I'm an idiot and I'm wrong and I shouldn't do that. But you know what? It's all fun and games. I hope everyone has a good weekend at Nationals, and it's going to be a good one. Noah, all the best to every one of your players.